You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Dr. Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, Movable University, the Universal Tractioning System, Imaging Services, and Zingit Solutions. Let's hustle. Hey guys, Jim Chester here. This is a student episode of the Chiro Hustle live stream. This is Mohamed Samman. He is a DC to B. He is seventh quarter down at Marietta, Georgia with Life University. And he's not, his story is going to be real interesting because it's not a typical I grew up in a chiropractic family and I grew up in the United States story. He comes from a different part of the world and now he's integrated into the United States. And what he's going to do is share some ideas about why he decided to become a chiropractor and what it's done for his life personally and what the future looks like for him down the line. But before we dive into it, Mohamed, I'm going to say thank you to Clothes for Chiro. They are the best in the business with day ones and day twos and setting up the ability for you to close more people in your offices. So Clothes for Chiro teaches you the best day one and day two in the business, I guarantee you. And what they're going to do is they're going to teach you how to tell the story of chiropractic within the way that they train you to getting people to say, yes, I want what you have to offer before they leave your office and never return. So thank you, Dan Bay, Sean Rundle, and Jen Rosenhart for sponsoring this episode of the Chiro Hustle live stream. And Mohamed, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Just putting out more content. Like I said, Chiro Hustle, what we do is we plant the field, we water the field, we harvest the field, and then we do it again the next day. So we're always creating new content and talking to more people about what makes them special in the chiropractic space. So as you came into the chiropractic world, what did you know about chiropractic?
From the age of, I think, 21, I had no idea what chiropractic was before. I wasn't, yeah.
And your story is a little bit different, but not so different. You came over here to the United States 6 years ago, and what was your major driver? What were you doing? What were you going to do until you got into chiropractic?
So I grew up in a family where my parents always cared about us to go to school and stuff, and they always wanted me to be a doctor. My sister is in medical school now, and she's about to become a surgeon. And after I finished high school, I've always played sport after school. My dad was a tennis coach, and I've played sport my whole life. So it got into the point where I had to become a doctor. You want me to become a doctor? And I always wanted to say, if I want to become a doctor, I want to become a doctor of health. So I was like, okay, let's go. I'm going to go to medical school. I went there for a year back home. And it just, my philosophy, the way I live my life does not resonate with whatever I was learning or not getting into in the first year. It's like an orientation year, right? So what happened is I told my dad, because my dad grew up in Syria and he moved to Saudi Arabia because he got a job there as a tennis coach. I told him the same way you lived your country and came to Saudi, right? I want to do something in my life that impact people. And if he can't send me to the United States, I'll find that thing. And I had no idea chiropractic existed. I came here to Michigan for undergrad. I went to University of Michigan in Flint, actually. And it was halfway through the undergrad that I wanted to shadow in the community and see what I want to do. Every time I shadow a doctor, I see how the patient comes into the docs and like nothing is changing. The same thing that I was exposed to. I was never exposed to something else. There was one thing that got my attention, like physical therapy. That was the only thing that I wanted to do. So out of all the chiropractic offices in Flint, or in Grand Blanc, actually, it's like 15 minutes from Flint, there was this one doc that I ended up with out of all the doctors. She has a wellness center, so she has a chiropractic office where she practices in, and then the other half of the office is physical therapy because it's a wellness center. And I spent like 3 months in the summer shadowing her in this side and then this side. And I want to see which one is like resonating with me. Still, with physical therapy, I would still see people just coming in and getting exercise and stuff, but they're not getting better. And after 2 weeks of doing that, I went to the other side, and I told her, tell me what is chiropractic? What is this thing you're doing here? I had no clue. So it all started from there. I worked with her. I shadowed her for 3 months, and she taught me. She was from life, so she taught me everything. I saw how people comes into her, getting healthier, getting exposed. We're born to this life not knowing anything. So when they come to her, because we're brainwashed, whatever is around us, she educated them about health, about chiropractic, about nervous system, change their life. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is why I came to the United States. And it's not like, that's why I tell chiropractic, I walk chiropractic, I do everything chiropractic, because when I played soccer, I walk soccer and basketball, right? Everything I'm passionate about, I do it every single day, and I talk about it with anybody. So the same thing with chiropractic now. And yeah,
that's impressive, man. So let's talk a little bit about like influence now. Like, who are your major chiropractic influencers, and who's helping you as mentor?
My doctor for the first, like on the first of the paradigm, my doctor, when I was working with her, I was like, how can I go to chiropractic school and take all these credits? Every 3 months we have 30 credits, take it all, and take 4 national boards to become a doctor. I was always playing small because I've always like never thought that big of myself, and she changed my whole entire life. She always like encouraged me. I was gonna go to other school just because it was close to Michigan, and she said you have to go to Life University in Atlanta if you want to become not just a doctor, you want to become a new person. And when she said that, being here for 2 years, it changed my entire life. I met people through the chiropractic culture, the people in Gansted, like it's heaven for me right here at Life University. It changed my whole life, and I would never look back and do anything else in my life.
So here's a question for you that, I ask a lot of the chiropractic students. How many doctors are in your family? Are you the first chiropractor?
My mom is a Arabic teacher, and my dad is a tennis coach. My sister is the only one in medical school now, and she's pursuing her residency, and she wants to become a surgeon. I told her, like, if you want to be in medical school, be in medical school. The only thing you want to do is helping people come out of traumas that happen to people on a daily, like surgeries, like ER, stuff like that. But if you want to treat people by giving them medicine and prescribe medicine and give them bandage, we're going to have a lot of this argument. And she's the first doctor in my family. I don't have any, even my cousin, I don't have any doctors in my family, my cousin or anyone.
Yeah, so that's kind of a proud win, it's a big moment for not only just you, but for the family as well. And I know you're going to do really well with your career. So knowing that there's a paradigm, okay, and I'm going to share with you. I believe that people that listen to what I say is that you should have 2 doctors in your life, one to keep you healthy as yourself and one to save you from dying as your sister. And I think that when people understand that there's like the body that is inside of us needs attention. It doesn't just need a functioning nervous system attention, but it needs a crisis care attention. And I believe that, you have a bank account of health, and over time, the bank account sometimes has like, a crash. And that's when we need people for, extreme levels of intervention, like our good friend, Danny Knowles. He is under principled chiropractic care, taking care of his nervous system, taking care of his health. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to come into some type of a crisis mode where we need the type of, specialists that deal with opening up the chest, repairing the heart, or we need somebody to say, oh, I have a laceration here. I'm not going to go to the chiropractor to take care of me with an adjustment when I'm going to bleed to death. So it's being wise as to knowing who to go to. And I think that that's what you just kind of discussed with me about what type of doctor you're going to become, what type of doctor your sister is going to become.
Mm-hmm. And it's amazing. Like, I'm telling you, I knew there wasn't for health, right? But coming to life has changed my health a lot. Like, expanding my mind about health. Some would say Dr. Sid Williams is like the whole compass. The first day I put my foot on that compass, it's never the same. Walking around, seeing all the people thinking the same way. We live in a heaven in Life University, and we take it for granted all the time because we think everybody around us in the world is the same. But like I've seen it when I lived in Flint, and I've seen the people that they don't know anything about health because they don't read, and then the doctors are not telling the truth. So you grow up and you eat like the food around you is not healthy, and then that's what you grew up in. When you find that doc that tells you and guide you through the health, then you have that waking moment. And that's what we have at life, but we all forget it through these 4 years. We forget it because we all live the same kind of thing, and we think that we are part of the world, And It's in.
Yeah, basically what you're saying is I'm going to just elaborate on a little bit if you don't mind is in the culture that we're in right now that we need to start people with the chiropractic adjustment and then
Mhm.
make influence on them with a proper eating program, get influence on them with happy thoughts and how to think properly, and then get influence on them on how to move the body and stay in motion. And I think that when you think about life on those terms, that is something that is easy to encapsulate, but always chiropractors number one. And your scope might be different than mine. I'm a journalist, I'm a megaphone, but I will tell you that we have to take the adjustment first and then make influence down the line, and be certain in your adjusting skills first and then make
Absolutely.
influence down the line, and be that influencer for not only the individual, but is this appointment for you, is it for the whole family type mentality.
That's true. And you give the point right now talking about the adjustment. Because people that come to school just because, I call it by accident. They come to chiropractic by accident. Some people come to school as a student. I'm talking about the student part, right? They come to school as an accident, but then when they get into school and see what's going on, they change their whole life, 360. Some of them just pass it, take the education, like the medical stuff that the Indies knows, that we all know, and then they never work on the adjustment part. And like, first of all, you have to know the adjustment part. It's like a sport. We have to train that. As the same time as we study all that stuff, directing where they're gonna go. But we can't just do the information and like all the studying and not work at the adjustment, because we're not gonna change life from that.
Yeah, so talk about this, and what would you recommend? I know you're still in the program, but what would you say to somebody else that was 2 years behind you when they first start getting into a chiropractic program? What would your advice be to them?
First thing is get involved as much as you can. Go to every single club, every single technique from day one. Don't wait until like, oh, I don't. Actually, wait until you take spine anatomy. Once you take spine anatomy second quarter, that's when you can go to clubs so you can understand the anatomy. Because without that, you won't understand what they're saying. Then after that, do that for a year and then see which technique will stick with you. Like I did all the kind of technique in school. My doctor did Thompson, and we did Kairos training special. Amazing people around the whole U.S. And we train together all the time. Yep, I have it right here too in the back. So all the people are amazing. I've met so many amazing people. Athletic chiropractic is an athletic thing. We're gonna work through our whole life changing people's lives. So we have to also know how to adjust all that stuff. So
yeah, that's one of the things that I've really embodied when I've become networked into this chiropractic culture, is that it's a very tight knit group, and you have to prove to people that you're going to stay the course with this. Otherwise, you don't have the credibility and the trust. And something I'll tell everybody out there is, if you're ever going to want to work in the chiropractic space, show that you're committed. Become known, become liked, become trusted, and then you can then share the message. But don't ever come into the chiropractic profession and look to take the money out of the pocket of the chiropractor without knowing the business and the strategies behind the chiropractic method. Because I think so many times there's marketers out there that prey on chiropractic as the easy target, because they think that chiropractors they want new patients, but the people that are out there doing this type of marketing, they don't know the chiropractic space well enough to be able to get the results that the chiropractor wants.
Like Dr. Gonstead in our school in Atlanta, the whole curriculum is based on Dr. Gonstead, the legend. 3 million people he had tested. Dr. Sid Williams, if he didn't do all what he did, I would never be here today. The school would never be open. Like, that's how much he loves chiropractic. Gonstead taught chiropractic, and he gave us all the keys. So we have to use all the keys. We're not like, that's my personal opinion. I want to use my X-ray. I want to use every single thing I learned through the school to know how to adjust people and get them through like the best that is fit for them. We don't want to treat it as money. When you focus on money in anything in life, not just chiropractic, when you focus on money, you will never make it anywhere in life. So when I came to chiropractic, my main thing is not, I could have went to medical school as my parents forced me to. And like, I wanted to become a soccer player before, but my mom broke all my dreams and saying, I want you to become a doctor. I was like, okay, you want me to become a doctor? I will not do whatever you want. I want to do whatever I want. So I'm going to do chiropractic and help people as long as I'm alive. I'm not even going to retire because I've been looking for this my whole life. And nobody ever told me about it. Why is it hidden? Why is it like I have to search for it? Everybody has to know what chiropractic is and how to live through the subluxation-free, like trauma, toxin. Always start from the spine. Once you start from the spine, you can eat healthy, you can absorb all the nutrition, then you have clear mind, you can work out. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. Medication would not help unless for certain people. People born with it. We have ER stuff. That's it.
Well, there's a guy named Eric Plasker who's in our first movie, Chiropractic, the documentary. And this is a quote from him. He said, chiropractic first, chiropractic second, chiropractic third, chiropractic with drugs fourth, chiropractic with surgery fifth. So even when you do get in a paradigm where you have to have outside intervention to have some control of some modulation inside of your body that you don't have control of, you should still have chiropractic in your life as you're going through that process.
Absolutely. Just like dentists. I mean, dentists, they did their job. They've been there for 200 years. Chiropractic has been around for 100 something, right? So
123.
It's evolving. And Dr. Thompson behind me, Thomas Edison, he suffered in his life because of his health, and he died because of him being diagnosed and all that. Nobody helped him, and he knew it. That's why he created this, like the saying, the doctor of the future will give no medicine but will interest his patient in the body frame and diet and the cure of diseases. Because he knew, he suffered from it. And now everybody's learning that because they suffer from it too.
And now, Mohamed, you know what we say? The doctor of the present is the chiropractor.
Absolutely. And we have the knowledge. People think that we go to chiropractic school, we don't know anything about like the other stuff. We study the same exact, if not more, than the medical people.
And then,
I'm not saying they're bad. Right.
No, yeah, and I get it. And it's not us against them. But I made a point to somebody the other day, and this is a point that most chiropractic people know, is that when you understand that the malpractice insurance for MD or anybody in the medical prescription right businesses, and then you look at the malpractice of the DC, and you can compare them, that chiropractic is relatively safe and effective and affordable, if you will. And you look at the other side of it, is it's a sick care model, and it's all based on high premiums. It's all based on pharmacology. It's all based on sick care model. And what I said last night on the interview with the IFCO TV with Tristan Schaub and Lacey Book was, this is it. We need to move from a sick care model to a cash care model. And the quicker that we understand that when you have an equal exchange of care for benefit, and the outcome is set, now you have a stronger perception on the rest of the future of chiropractic, because we're taking away from whenever you do an insurance care type adjustment, you're actually doing a medical care type adjustment. And when you do a chiropractic adjustment based on cash model, you're actually providing pure chiropractic care in exchange for equal services. So when people You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Dr. Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, Movo University, the Universal Tractioning System, Imaging Services, and Zingit Solutions. Let's hustle.
Yeah, keep going.
No, but when people understand this, Mohamed, they understand that chiropractic is much more than a pill, a potion, or a lotion, or a treatment. It's the adjustment that unlocks the innate potential inside of each individual to be able to live to their highest level of human performance. And I think when people start understanding this, then they start understanding that chiropractic is a huge paradigm shift. And now people are going to start demanding, I need to get checked and adjusted regularly.
Yeah, the message comes first before everything, because as student, as doctor, we forget that we've been through this for years, learning about the body, innate intelligence. When you tell this to someone from the outside, they've never read the book about it. They don't know how the body functions. All they know the outside. They don't know what's inside it. So if you don't explain it, break it down, and then tell them how it works, the physiology, everything, and then adjust, they will never get it. If you just adjust and they leave, they will never understand. You have to give them the light first, because they never have ever been exposed to the body from the inside, how it works.
Yeah, and that's a big part. And sometimes I feel like I can articulate these conversations very thoroughly because I have them like 3 to 5 times a day. But when I think about like a young DC like you, I just want to give you all the resources that you can have and that that you might need to be able to communicate this message. And one of the topics I know you wanted to talk about was family support. And let's talk a
Mhm.
little bit about why it's so
Absolutely.
important to have family support.
So if I wasn't raised the way that my parents raised me, and if I wasn't in that whole household, I would have never been today here. Because when I told my dad, I was sitting in his room and I told him, I want to leave I want to leave this medical school and go to the United States. I'll find my passion. He didn't say no. He said, I'll support you forever. As long as you're gonna get a degree and you're gonna become a doctor, I'll support you. And he's still supporting me till this day. And I would be nothing without my parents. So that's why, like our culture back home is like always living in a parent. Like when I came here and I find out like people after 18 and 19, you leave your house and you be on your own. This isn't like a norm, not a norm for us back home. Back home, if I'm not married, I'll still live in my parents' house until like I'm 25, until I get married. And we still live around each other and we always have that. Like I'm gonna grow up, I'm gonna support, before I support myself, I'm gonna support my parents first, give them a house, everything, and then start thinking about myself the same way they did for me. And it was kind of like different coming here. Got like accustomed to it with other people. I always like argued, but like I forgot that I'm in a different country. Like I got accustomed to it. So without my parents, I would never be here, and I would give him my. If something happened to my parents today, I would give a kidney for my parents without even thinking about it because they're everything for me. So
Yeah, I think our culture here in the United States is very cut and dry. Like we've had enough of your belly aching and your whining and your car driving around to where when you hit
sure.
18, we're like, peace out. Go out there, figure out the world. Hopefully you
And
have a good
I'm not
time.
saying it's like I'm not saying it's like this all overseas. Some families still do like that part, but like let's say 85% of the Middle East people, this is how like the culture, this is how it is. But some people, it's different. But mostly how it is.
Yeah, and it's all about support. And I know one of the other things you wanted to touch on today was about supporting yourself and building your tribe around you. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk a little bit about why having a good supportive tribe as you're going through your journey is so important.
It get hard. It really get hard. Like every single day, it's a battle mentally and physically. So if you don't have people that you want to rely on and talk to and like support you when you're down in school or down in adjusting clubs or down anywhere, that's where you want people to be around you. First of all, your mentor, 24/7. I talk to my doctor every single day, and then my friends that I trust, because you need people around you that push you farther than what you think. But sometimes if you're on your own, if I go work out on my own right now, I'll be doing like the minimum of the workout. But when I have people around me, I'll force myself to go farther just because they're surrounding you and the people that I have. So tribe is everything. Without having people around you, you'll never get anywhere.
Yeah, there's this analogy that I'll share with people is one Clydesdale can pull 7 tons, two Clydesdales can pull 21 tons. So
Absolutely.
when you have yourself two Clydesdales, you're going to carry more than a whole third of the amount that you can carry on your own. So having support of each other, that means that we love each other, we see each other, we appreciate each other, we congratulate each other. We have some people to spend time with, to have meals with. We have some people to spend time with on our holidays, like Jesse Ventoso's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Jesse. We have
Birthday.
people that love and appreciate us, that are willing to say things like that. I think that the more that we support each other with kind words and we have our affirmations for ourselves, we stay on point with our personal religion. I think all these things are so necessary in order to understand what we mean to our tribe. And then they say, heck yeah, I want what you have, man. You're fired up. You take care of yourself. Your head's on straight. You have good ethics. You have good moral standards. You have good chiropractic sensibilities. I want you in my camp.
Yeah, the main point is the purpose. Like when I was, if I didn't, when my dad sent me here, I realized what life is all about. Because I was living with my parents and I didn't know what life is about. But like I realized at my 21, I realized that I'm not gonna last here forever. It's passing. My parents are passing. I'm gonna pass. But what I do with this period of my life is what matters. So that's why I chose chiropractic. I want to help people forever. But it doesn't mean like I'm gonna live forever. I don't know when I'm gonna die. I might die tomorrow. So if you know your purpose and why you're on earth, then nothing stops you, nothing changes you. And that's basically all it is.
Yeah, we're all paying rent day to day, and the best that
Absolutely.
you take care of yourself, the best rent you can pay is to make the best version of yourself. Because That's how we become leaders, and that's how we become influencers, and that's how we can carry on a great message and have credibility with that message. And I think that the more that we build ourselves up with good family and good tribe and, good education, like your parents kind of push you into that direction, now you're going to go be the doctor that's going to make more people better wherever you decide to practice. And I guess with that type of conversation, what is next for you? Where are you going to go practice, and what's on the horizon for you?
My doctor lives in Michigan, and I worked with her for 2 years. But the thing about Michigan is I hate the cold. Like, I lived in Saudi Arabia, which is like 110 all year, and then we get 73 months. And then coming to Michigan, we literally 7 months cold. So I've always battled with her every time. I talk to her, I'm like, if I finish from here, I'm gonna go to San Diego. Like, that's the best part of the world for me. I love the lifestyle. I've been there so many times. Have a lot of friends there, and like, I hope like from now to next 2 years she moves there. If not, then I'm planning on flying every break from now on to see offices in the docks and see how kind of build network there, because that's my optimum like goal going to San Diego.
That's cool. Well, I'm going to be partnering on opening offices out here in Colorado, so you might want to consider coming out, paying a nice visit to us too.
Absolutely. I was in Colorado just like I forgot the beginning of the year. It was amazing. The mountains and everything is like the eyesight and everything was mind blowing. I loved Colorado.
It's a beautiful part of the country for sure. And we have all 4 seasons. And I will tell you that our winter is real, but it's not as real as the rest of the countries.
Oh yeah. Michigan is like 5 minutes from Canada. So you have a bridge to go to Canada. It was unbelievable. So
yeah, and that's the thing, is there's so much diversity across the landscape of this country that you could be at an ocean in San Diego, you could be at the mountains here in Colorado, you could be down in Georgia around, the lakes and, Stone Mountain. You could have all that type of stuff as well. Or you could go up and be in an old, fishing village in Maine. You could be on you could be almost any, and you could create any type of environment that you want, because we have so much going on. And I think that that's one of the coolest things about what you get to do as being the doctor, is you can choose exactly the situation that you want to be in. You could be an associate for a while. You could go out there and open your private practice for a while. Heck, you could turn into become an instructor and a teacher right away too with your credentials. So there's so many things. Yeah. So go ahead.
I want to say something for students before they go to school, because I had that battle. I was in Michigan, and National was close to me, right? 4 hours in Chicago. My doctor wanted, that's where she graduated from, and she knew the philosophy and everything. So before you do anything, always like explore and ask, because it's a life decision making. If I didn't go to life, I would not be talking to you right now. I would not be doing anything about chiropractic. Other schools have, the philosophy here is way different. When you come here and you see the philosophy and you learn chiropractic, then you come out and help people the best way you can. You become the best chiropractor, the best doctor you want to be. So that's what I want to say.
And honestly, that's why we've teamed up with groups like Close for Chiro, because what happens when so many times kids come out of school, or young adults come out of school, they don't have the business acumen to go out there and to grow a practice. And what happens a lot of times is they go into an office and somebody builds their practice off of your back and uses you up and eats their young and doesn't appreciate you, pays you a lower salary than almost any other medical professional on the planet. And then they grow their practice and their interest, and then they kick you out. And, I think that's got to be stopped. And I think that, absolutely. As you grow into becoming a more educated man and to say, hey, this is what I want, learning these principles that Close for Chiro teach on selling and marketing are going to be essential for the future of chiropractic, to be able to communicate to that potential new client or new patient that, hey, this is my recommendations for you. I can tell you what the best outcome will be if you just trust me to be your doctor. But, those days of chiropractors taking the young out of the schools and using them to build their practice as an associate, I think those days have to be either more fair exchange, or they have to be reformatted to where there's actual ownership buyout opportunities for that person that's helping grow your business. I mean, I'm just throwing a lot of darts out there, and I'm telling people to get it right.
That's true. I mean, our generation is not like the generation before. I tell you right now, the millennials are fired up. Like, We spend 4 years and take all those 4 boards. We're not gonna play small when we come out. Like we have to, like, I mean, in the beginning, if you don't know anything about chiropractic, you've never been before exposed to it, then okay, it might associate and stuff. But like, if I'm working hard as well, when I finish, I want to work harder so I can reach the message harder. And that's what everybody in our school mentality kind of thing. You know, because we get hassled every day, like beat up with the grades, with the school, with everything. It's not easy. Being in chiropractic school is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I'm telling you right now, it's not easy at all. So.
Yeah, and then, you know, you feel like you've congratulated. Here we go, Mohamed. Here you go. Congratulations. You've done your 4 years. Here's your diploma. And now self-esteem goes down because you get out and you don't know what to do or where to go. And some chiropractor that's been in business for 5 years takes advantage of you. And, you know, that's the real truth of the matter. And then you go out there and you're like, damn, I can't pay my bills. I'm going to go out there and try this on my own. You go out there and try it on your own, and people start coming in. You don't have the self-confidence now to close them. You don't have the self-confidence to get them under care. And I'm going to close out by saying a couple things that are controversial, but if you don't close them for chiropractic, somebody else will close them for drugs or surgery. So you have to have the high self-esteem as soon as you do get that diploma to say, hey, I have conviction. I have confidence. My self-esteem is through the roof, and I'm going to go out there and change the world. I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to use every tool that I have to go out there to be successful.
Absolutely. 100%. I agree with that.
Well, at this point in the interview, I know we're coming up on the edge of our time together. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to share with our audience?
My big message is for the student. I'm a chiropractic therapist, and I played small. And I told my doctor, like, I can't go through this. This is hard. Like taking all these classes at once and doing all the boards. But she pushed me harder than anyone. I will give my life for her. She pushed me harder than anyone in this life to change my mentality about thinking small. Because I was literally going to BT school and but I did not like what happened in the office. This is not the primary. They come after chiropractic. Chiropractic first adjusting, then you strengthen the body. So when I saw that mechanism in the office, I was like, I want to do chiropractic. But when she told me how hard it is, I was like literally not gonna do it. But she pushed me until always find a mentor, then take time before you decide where you go. And then when you go to school, find a tribe so you can go through it because it's hard.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that you mentioned is her. Who is this? Who is this magic woman?
Her name is Dr. Kadra Kahin. KHADRA/KAHIN. Kahin. She was born in she's from Ethiopia in Africa, and she was born in Toronto. And she was going to medical. It's funny how I met her because she was going to medical school to become a pediatric, right? She lived in Toronto. She went to school, high school and everything, and then she suffered from her neck problem because she said. So someone asked her to go to chiropractor, and she went to the chiropractor, and he changed her totality of her life. Her whole paradigm changed because of that. When he adjusted her and told her how the nervous system works, she's like, that's what I want. I don't want to be the pediatric doctor anymore. She looked up chiropractic school. Dr. Sid Williams is the first thing that came up. That's why I love life. People think I'm crazy because I love life. My doctor went to school here because of Dr. Sid Williams. She found all his on the internet. Back in the days when all his talking about chiropractic and spreading chiropractic. She came to school because of that, and her whole life changed now. And she's been working in Grand Blanc in Michigan for 15 years now. So it's been awesome.
Cool story. Yeah, you know, my first influence of Sid Williams was the Meadowlark Experience. It's a small little book. And then after I watched all the videos that he's put out there on YouTube, I don't know if you knew this, but I do a lot of chiropractic screenings. That's something I became really talented with. And I would always drop the keys on people. And I'd say chiropractic is just like gravity. It works whether you believe it or not. Nobody
can prove gravity. So nobody can improve chiropractic. It works.
Whether you think it's a belief system or not, it's just like gravity. Once you get adjusted and your life gets back aligned, your nervous system starts to flow the right way. It's the most beautiful profession on planet Earth. That's why I support you guys day in and day out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. I'm glad to be here. I'm honored to be here because of your support and everything.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and close out, but I'm going to let everybody know that we are bringing on Chiro Hustle student reps. So if you do know someone out there that is ideal for us, that at least has 2 more years of chiropractic school, what we'll do is we'll bring you on. You'll share our content for 90 days. Once you get a satisfactory passing grade by sharing our content, what I'm going to do is get you the podcast gear, the mic, the light, the camera, and I'll train you how to start a podcast for you to be the hub of Chiro Hustle in your chiropractic schools community. So we are bringing on student reps right now. I think we're going to have 4 starting up here soon, but I want to get a rep from all chiropractic schools in the United States to where we can have a bigger message talking congruent chiropractic, even on those campuses where chiropractic may have left.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So with that being said, Mohamed, thank you so much for talking about your chiropractic experience and where you're going, a little bit about why it's important to have tribe and family support. And I can't say enough about being able to watch you progress with your future as becoming a doctor and being supportive to you as you become that doctor.
Thank you so much for having me, and appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you, Close for Chiro, for sponsoring this episode of Chiro Hustle Student Edition. I can't say enough about our amazing sponsors that are out there for us every day, putting their dollars for the votes for free speech and chiropractic. That keeps me available to keep on doing what I do best, and that's to tell the chiropractic story. When I tell people the story, people get it on a bigger scale because I have no bias, because I'm not a doctor of chiropractic. I've chosen this by being a journalist, and now I get a chance to be the megaphone for this beautiful profession of chiropractic. And with that being said, I'm going to close out by saying you're just one story away. What do I say, Mohamed? Keep hustling.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll see you on the next one, brother.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.